Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover the secret, bustling ecosystem hiding right behind your walls. We walk past them every single day, we turn the taps, we flush the toilets, but we rarely stop to actually think about the complex, hidden network of pipes keeping our homes clean and, well, functioning. So today, we're changing that. We're pulling back the drywall to look at the hidden anatomy of your home's plumbing. Now, you might be wondering, do you know what's slowly destroying the pipes inside your walls? I mean, what is actively attacking your home's adorable little infrastructure every single day? Because plumbing doesn't just sit there in a vacuum, right? It's constantly under siege from environmental forces that are working around the clock to wear it down. And to protect our homes, we first need to know exactly what we're up against. Which brings us to Section 1, why your plumbing actually fails. Meet our first super sneaky villain, heavy clay soil. Now, this isn't just regular dirt. Heavy clay soil acts literally like a giant sponge. It absorbs a ton of moisture during the wet seasons and then dramatically dries out during the summer. So when it shifts and swells, it literally squeezes, cracks, and separates your underground sewer and water lines. It's this slow-moving, immense pressure that rigid pipes just simply can't handle forever. Next up on the threat list is hard water, specifically high mineral content from places like the Great Miami River Aquifer. Sure, it might be perfectly safe to drink, but it is quietly depositing scale and calcifying your appliances. It builds up inside your pipes, clogs your fixture aerators, and, get this, literally destroys your water heaters from the inside out by coating the bottom of the tank with heavy sediment. It's basically a silent thief, slowly stealing your sparkling water pressure. And our final environmental villain is the freeze-thaw cycle. When sudden winter temperature drops hit, any water trapped in uninsulated pipes or outdoor hose bibs freezes solid. And as we all know, water expands when it freezes. Not even the strongest copper or steel can contain that immense physical pressure. It magically and disastrously turns the water inside those uninsulated pipes into expanding, pipe-splitting ice bombs. Now, it's really interesting to see how these forces uniquely impact homes depending on their age. If you look at older, pre-1970s homes, they usually have charming, aging cast iron and galvanized steel supply lines. Those rust and corrode right from the inside out, dropping your water pressure to a trickle. Meanwhile, newer homes rely on modern bouncy PEX and PVC piping. They handle shifting ground a bit better, for sure, but they still fall victim to freezing temperatures and hard water scale if they aren't properly maintained. Moving right along to Section 2, common home plumbing nightmares. So what does it look like when those environmental villains actually win the battle for your basement? Well, here are the top plumbing nightmares. We're talking thirsty tree roots invading your sewer lines, corroding water heater tanks, burst outdoor hose bibs, and rusty galvanized supply lines. Because tree roots are literally always seeking moisture, they will aggressively force their way into the tiny joints of older pipes. They form these dense mats that catch waste and send sewage backing straight up into your house. No way, right? Add in burst hose bibs and rusty water, and you've got the ultimate homeowner's headache. And this quote right here perfectly captures the terrifying surprise of a frozen pipe. The break does not leak until the ice thaws, then releases gallons per minute. You might think you survived the winter freeze because, hey, you don't see a leak immediately. But actually, scratch that. The ice itself acts as a temporary plug. The true nightmare begins the exact moment the weather warms up, the ice melts, and it unleashes a mini waterfall right into your lovely home. Okay, let's dive into Section 3, the secret math of plumbing. You might think pipe shapes are simple, but here's a question that totally separates the brilliant plumbing pros from the weekend DIYers. Can a drain pipe have a 90-degree elbow? If you're putting together a puzzle of pipes under your sink, can you just use a standard 90-degree angle to make a sharp turn? Well, the answer reveals the hidden logic of how water actually flows. And the answer lies in something called the 13-5 rule. This is the maximum allowable angle for drain pipe changes, and it proves that sharp 90-degree turns are a guaranteed recipe for yucky sewer backups. See, standard short-radius 90-degree elbows create heavy turbulence that slows down drainage and catches debris. So to comply with plumbing codes, professionals use gradual bends, like two 45-degree fittings or a long sweep 90 to keep waste flowing incredibly smoothly. And shear is the magic number, 1.414. Because a 45-degree offset creates a right triangle, professional plumbers use this exact multiplier, which is the square root of 2, to perfectly calculate the diagonal pipe length. When bridging a gap using 45-degree fittings, especially in tight basement spaces, they just measure the offset distance and multiply it by 1.414. This little bit of secret math guarantees absolutely flawless cuts every single time, avoiding any weird stress on the pipe joints that could cause future leaks. Let's transition over to Section 4, DIY versus hiring a pro. The absolutely crucial point here is knowing your limits. Cute little DIY tasks like plunging a drain or replacing a faucet aerator are totally fine for you to handle yourself. But when it comes to pro tasks like repiping an aging home, doing complex sewer repair, or touching literally anything related to a gas line, that requires serious professional muscle, specialized tools, and municipal permits. You definitely want a licensed professional for those so you don't end up accidentally voiding your insurance. And this brilliantly illustrates a true pro's three-step process. They don't just guess, right? Step 1 is inspection and diagnosis. They'll send these super cool fiber optic video cameras right down your drain to pinpoint the root cause. Step 2 is professional repair, using high-quality, code-compliant parts. And Step 3, testing and documentation. They meticulously flush the system and do pressure checks to guarantee the problem is actually solved. Okay, let's dive into our final section. Section 5, how to protect your wallet. So $75 to $150, this is the standard hourly rate you should expect for a licensed plumber, and it sets a really clear baseline for your repair budget. Depending on the complexity of the job, $75 to $150 an hour is what standard daytime professional expertise costs. Now, emergency, weekend, or midnight service, yeah, that's naturally going to cost more, but having this baseline in your head helps you easily spot quotes that are wildly inflated or suspiciously cheap. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clearly it lays out the massive red flags between a professional plumber and a shady contractor. A true professional provides itemized written quotes, they only ask for a deposit for materials, and they have a valid state license and insurance. But a shady contractor, they might offer unusually low bids, demand full payment up front before even touching a wrench, and magically forget their license info. That's a huge nope. So the crucial takeaway is to always use this empowering little checklist to protect your home and your wallet from bad contractor practices. Always get multiple written estimates. Never just settle for the first quote. Verify their Ohio state license. Ensure they pull the proper local permits. And always, always ask about warranty coverage. This puts you totally in control of the whole shebang. Leaving you with this provocative thought. Is your home's hidden anatomy a ticking time bomb? After learning all these insider secrets, it really makes you wonder what invisible forces are playing out behind your walls right now. Are thirsty tree roots slowly creeping into your sewer lines? Or is hard water quietly eating away at your water heater as we speak? Don't wait for the floodgates to open to find out. Understand your home's hidden anatomy and stay curious. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.